Okay, it is 7
Hi there.
PM. We, actually, it's 7:05 PM. We do have a quorum. Perry, would you like to read the obligatory information?
Certainly. Yes, I will. As a preliminary matter and as requested by the chair, this is Perry Jewell, Vice Chairman. I'll do a roll call to confirm that members are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. George Eman,
Here.
Evan Waters,
Here?
and I'm Perry Jewell, as I had said before, of course. And so we do have a quorum with 3, although I still do expect that Paul Fortin may also join us, even though he hasn't so far. I haven't heard otherwise. In addition to that, of course, we have as staff Andrea Schnepp, our administrative assistant, and our agent Jim Gareffi. And we have 2 anticipated speakers, Doug Smith and Chris McKenzie. I guess I should have paused to see that you could hear me. Jim, can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you. Andrea, can you hear me?
I can.
And Chris, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
And Doug Smith, I know you're muted, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
I can hear you, Perry.
Thank you. So, good evening. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel, and that this meeting of the Lunenburg Board of Health is being conducted remotely. The town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19 coronavirus, is currently following the guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus, and steps communities can take to prevent the spread. And all town facilities are currently closed to the public except by appointment, although we anticipate that that will change tomorrow, and that the facilities will be open to the public tomorrow, so long as they follow the various other good guidance, such as wearing a mask and proper social distancing. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Paragraph 20, all public meetings are being conducted remotely. The order, which you can find posted on the town website on the COVID-19 Information Center page, accessed through the town manager's webpage, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will allow public comment at the end, limited to a few moments, a few minutes per each speaker. For this meeting, the Board of Health meeting is being convened via Zoom, as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that most attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care in screen sharing your computer. Anything that you broadcast will be captured by the recording. So now, as we turn to the first item we'll be turning to the first item, but before that, let me cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda, and after they conclude their remarks, the chair will invite members to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please remember, it's best to mute your phone or computer when not speaking, and please remember to state your name and speak clearly in a way that will help to generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to address other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. So, Mr. Chairman, the meeting is all yours.
Thank you, Perry. Okay, it is what, 7:10, 7:11, close enough. First item on the agenda is a request for a variance for, let's see, 9 Boutwell Street in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, Lunenburg, Massachusetts, excuse me. And Doug Smith, I believe, is representing the owner of the property. Doug? Would
Yes.
you like to explain what it is you're looking for? Well, actually, you know what? Let me read this letter first. It'll cut through some of the chase. I have a letter to the Board of Health. Please accept this letter as my request to be put on the next Board of Health agenda meeting for consideration of variances listed below for Mr. Bill Farabee at property of 9 Boutwell Street, Lunenburg, Massachusetts, 01462. This was a state one, state Title V local upgrade requested 310 CMR 15.4051G. Requests a reduction in the minimum distance of 100 feet to a private well from the septic system on a on-site water supply well. Okay, requesting an LUA 478 separation to an outside drilled well. Number 2, 310 CMR 15405-1E, requesting a reduction in the minimum distance of 50 feet to BVW. That's a new one on me. Actual distance, I'm sorry? Okay.
Bordering vegetated wetlands.
Bordering vegetation. Okay, that makes sense. Actual distance is 44 feet. Lunenburg Health variance, Lunenburg Board of Health regulation variance requested is Article 4, Section 2. All soil absorption system constructed hereafter, unless otherwise specified by the Board of Health, shall not be located less than 100 feet from bordering vegetation and non-perennial stream, requesting a variance to 44 feet. 44-foot line, also high bank stream, 15 feet provided. Thank you for your consideration. Doug Smith for Mr. Irby. Okay, Doug, tell us all about it.
Yeah, and at the very end of that letter, that 15-foot provided should not have been there. That was a stray note from a different letter or something. But so it is 44 feet to the wetlands. Now, this lot is a 0.37 acre, 2-bedroom house, very
Excuse me.
small lot.
Excuse me just a second, Doug. So the 44 feet, the request ends there, and the 15 feet, the rest of that line, also high bank of stream, 15 feet, that's no longer there, required?
Correct, which says 15 feet provided, that should be erased. That should be crossed out.
Just 15 feet provided?
Yeah, those 2 words, 15 provided, should be gone, should be crossed off. It's an incorrect.
Okay, is it 44 feet? Well, okay, I'm confused now. You have 44 feet for the borderline vegetation line and also high bank stream, 15 feet provided. I'm not sure what that means.
The bordering vegetated line, the blue flags that I put in, that was the high point of the stream bed and the wetland line.
Okay,
And I'm just telling you that 15-foot should not be in the letter. That was a mistake on my part.
what should it be?
44 feet.
It should be 44. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, go ahead.
Seems like these letters is always something, but
You always,
anyways, this lot, I had to try to fit the system in between that well and the wetlands, and where we put it is probably the only spot on the lot it can go, because right behind the house, you have an existing deck and there's some pavement. Then the ground starts sloping off, so we dug test holes in the sloped area and came up with pretty good soil. So it lent itself for a very good spot to put the septic. And I think it's the best thing I can possibly do on this small lot. It is going to have a wall, a poly barrier, and it's a Presby system.
Does anybody have any questions or comments on the request?
Mr. Chair? Barry
Yes.
Jewell.
Terry?
Yeah, I guess I would just ask Doug if he's, discussed this with the Conservation Commission yet. Since he is dropping, below not just the 100 feet, but the 50-foot.
Yes, it went to conservation 2 weeks ago, and they pretty much were okay with everything, but they did not sign it. They said they wanted to make sure Board of Health was okay. And after
Okay.
tonight, depending on the outcome, I'll be going back to conservation Wednesday night. So they seemed okay with it. They had site walked it. It's just a matter that, like I said, they want to make sure
Okay,
Board of Health is okay.
okay, so they are aware of it, and it would seem at least that they're responsive to your plan in that regard.
They are
Because
correct.
they're
I
often more
actually attended.
sensitive than we with regard to the wetland issue, of course.
Correct.
Anybody else? Okay, I don't have any objections or questions or comments on it. Jim, do you have
Jim.
anything to say about this?
Tough site, wells, wetlands. The design's gonna be much better than what's existing. You can see Doug does show the approximate location of the existing on that plan. So it's moved considerably out of the wetlands from the old design. I don't know what else you could do on that site. Fortunately, the well is upstream or uphill of the proposed leaching area. Like I said, I think it's a reasonable design for the site that you have to work with.
Okay. Okay, if no one else has any comments or questions or anything, we can entertain a motion to grant an approval to this request or these requests.
Well, Mr. Chairman, Perry Jewell, I'll be happy to move that we request, that we grant the requested variances.
Okay, motion's been made.
I'll second it.
I will second the motion. And all in favor? I'll say aye. George Eman.
Perry Jewell, aye.
Waters, aye.
Okay, motion's made and passed. Well set, Doug.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Moving rapidly on to item 2. Item 2 is approvals and various requests for property located at 30 Gilchrist Street in Lunenburg, Massachusetts. The board members, on behalf of our client Northfield Associates, Dillis and Roy Civil Design Group Incorporated, respectfully, well, impressed, requests the following local upgrade approvals and local regulation variances for the design and construction of a proposed sewer disposal system located at the above referenced site. The specific local upgrade approvals and variances being sought are noted below. Local Board of Health variances. Section 3A, leach area to be at least 4 feet above estimated seasonal high groundwater table. 3-foot separation between estimated seasonal high groundwater table and the bottom of the leach area is proposed. Local upgrade approvals. Title 5, 15405-1H. Reduction of the required 4-foot system separation from the estimated seasonal high water table and the bottom of the leach area. 3-foot separation between the estimated seasonal high groundwater table and the bottom of the leach area is proposed. Dillis and Roy feels that we have provided an acceptable engineering design for the above referenced site, which provides the same amount of environmental protection as would strict compliance with Title V and the environmental code. If you have any questions or require additional information, please contact me. Chris McKenzie. Okay, thank you, Chris. You want to say something about it, Chris?
Sure. How you doing, George? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I know. How you been?
Good, good.
Yeah, if you want to take a look at the plan, if you want to let me share my screen, I can show you what's going on with it.
If you would, I think I've had a quick look at it, but go ahead. I don't know if all the other ones have seen it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things with this Zoom. It's almost impossible to be able to look at the plans because when you print them, they're so darn small that you
Sure.
can't read them.
I think somebody's got to allow me to share my screen, though. It won't allow me to do it right now.
I don't know, must be Perry, you? I couldn't do that if I had to.
That's not my screen.
Nope. Isn't there a thing at the bottom that says share somewhere? Oh, it's not on my screen either.
When I click it, it says it's disabled, that the host has to enable it.
Oh, I think Perry has to do it. He's the host.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And I don't know if he knows that he's muted. right?
Well, why don't you give us your take
So I
on
can
it?
unmute here, but I can, let me see if I can. Let me do that. Can you get at it now?
Yep, I'm in.
Oh, good.
How's that?
Good.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
All right. Everyone, I'm sure, is familiar with the property. It's located off of Gilchrist Road. There's an existing pool and pool house. Gilchrist Street's out in this direction. The pool's located here. And there's some kind of existing system. Nobody's really too sure what's going on with that, but we generally have the idea that the building sewer comes out of the building in this area here. We're going out to a septic tank and down to a Presby leach area here. In order to make this system work and not use a pump, we needed to ask for that 3-foot groundwater separation versus 4-foot. Helps minimize the amount of fill that's going to be required around this. That's really about it. It's pretty simple. Like I said, we're asking for the variance from the 4-foot in town and upgrade for the 4-foot.
What was the perk? What do you have for perk?
Perk rate was over here, 7 minutes an inch.
Wow. I noticed that you've got an inspection port there. What was your reasoning for that?
All systems require an inspection port, all leach areas.
Well, you've got, it's hard to see here. I guess I was wondering why you put it right there. Where is it? I can't tell on here. What do you normally
Inspection
do?
port is right in this area next to the vent.
Yeah,
It's right near, we try to put it at the bottom end of the system, so.
yeah,
System's gonna fail, it usually fails
Yep.
from the bottom up, so
yep.
if it's gonna
Okay.
fail, you'll get it at the beginning there.
I never really paid an awful lot of attention to those. I was just curious as to was a specific spot where you tried to put them. I haven't seen that many of them that it stuck in my mind. So you taught me something tonight.
Right, I know a lot of contractors, and Jim can probably back me up on this, a lot of contractors like to put them beyond the system with
Okay,
stuff at the very end of the trench or something, but
Yeah.
Presby, you want it right in the system.
okay,
That's
Thank
our detail right there.
okay. The questions, comments from the members of the board? Jim, have any comments?
Again, this is being done in conjunction with the land division here. And so one of the things that they require when you divide up a piece of property is that all the systems that are in failure be brought up to code. And so this is part of that division. And this system will meet that requirement for the land division. So this lot has town water somehow. The other lots will have wells. So again, it's a good solution for the site that has a system we don't know anything about.
Yep. Okay, I know that this is a precedent too. Yeah. Which is enough set for this sort of a system is common with the present system. It's pretty much, I don't want to say pretty much a routine variant for the 4 to 3. Anybody else? Okay. Someone want to make a motion?
Again, Mr. Chairman, this is Perry Jewell. I can be happy to move that we accept these requests for variances
Okay,
as presented.
I'd be happy to second.
okay, thank you, Mr. Waters. Motion's made and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Perry Jewell, aye.
Evan Waters, aye.
Thank you very much. Motion's made, seconded. And you're all done? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're all done with that sort of thing. Now, we've got other things on the agenda. I don't know what we do with them.
We can do Jim's update.
Yeah, we don't have, well, we don't have, we don't do the inspection reports anymore. No public.
Well, Mr. Chairman, this is Perry Jewell again, but
Yep.
it's my understanding that the other two items on the agenda regarding the number of rooms or the number of bedrooms have both been resolved to the satisfaction of the Lunenburg Code. And I think Jim has signed off on both of those now.
Yep, we're all set. Jim, you want to speak to us about COVID or anything else?
Sure. So just to those 2 points, the 250 Lancaster Ave, they modified their plans so that instead of having a room down in the basement, they just have the basement's insulated, it's not heated. And the folks who own the house sent me photographs of the existing conditions of the basement. They have a bathroom that's just kind of in the basement now with no walls around it, so they thought it would be probably good to put walls around it. So again, I didn't feel that one was the issue. The Holman Street lot, there's a set of plans in the office there that were revised as of the 28th of April that reduced the room numbers down. It's a multifamily. It's going to be a house with an in-law. They've reduced it down so that it's no more than 9 rooms, no more than 4 bedrooms. So I will check and see if that plan's been uploaded. If it has been, I can sign off on that one. COVID numbers and COVID information. The numbers in general, the 2-week rolling, which is what the state kind of reports, the cases for the last 2-week rolling, Lunar 20 puts the town in the yellow. I guess a good sign in that number is the positivity rate from the last 2-week rolling has dropped from 4% down to like 2.5%. So that's a good move in the right direction. This past week, so from the week that ended the 30th of April, there were only 5 cases in Lunenburg. So again, we're seeing hopefully a continued slowdown in cases. And those are the cases reported to us. Statewide, the active cases, which is something I look at, is how many active cases. One that's been what they do is they use this kind of 21-day number, so the number of cases they think may be active has dropped from last week. It was about 27,000 cases. I checked today is about 23,000 cases in the state. The positivity rate for the state, interestingly, they show you 3 lines on the graph. One is the higher ed number. The other one is combined higher ed and the total mass population. And then there's the positivity rate of just the Massachusetts population without the higher ed in it. Higher ed drags the number of the positivity rate lower. So without the higher ed added into that, state's positivity rate is a little over 2.5%. With higher ed added into it, the positivity rate is about 1.5%. So again, trending down, which is good to see. There's a whole bunch of changes. One of which started on Friday. The governor announced changing the mask order back to essentially what it was before November. I think it was November. They changed it where as long as you're outside and as long as you can maintain 6 feet of separation, masks aren't required. One of the things, and people ask, so we don't have to wear it at all outside. And it's like, well, you have to look at certain activities, because certain activities have what they call sector-specific workplace safety standards. Or in the case of sports activities, The Executive Office for Environmental Affairs have standards that sports play by. So in those requirements, if masks are required, you still need to wear them. So for instance, sports activities, because people will be gathering around, people will be wearing masks in the activities, depending on the sport, and on the sidelines if that's the case. So again, it's important to read the actual order. It tells you the exemptions, and then depending on the activity, read what that activity allows and doesn't allow. So he went on to kind of lay out a path for where he believes they will be ahead, and this is all pending public health data. So the next group of changes would be May 10th, and there's a whole bunch of them. May 10th, large venues get to allow more people to come in. Amusement parks, water parks, theme parks get to open at 50% capacity. Road races and other large activities organized for amateur professional sports get to occur. Youth and adult sports, they can have sports tournaments. Singing will be allowed indoors in certain situations. I didn't know that was such a big thing. May 29th is the next kind of landmark, if you will, and the path hopefully to getting back to normal. And again, these are all prefaced by the public health data and the vaccination data heading in the right direction. Street festivals, agricultural fairs will be allowed to open. Beer gardens, bars, breweries, wineries, distilleries can open, but they have to follow the restaurant guidance. And this is where the particulars come in. So in the bar wineries, they have to actually serve the alcohol to seated folks. So you can't stand at the bar. You all have to be seated as if you were in a restaurant. But on the 29th, you can go into a place and order a drink and just sit at the table and drink it. So hopefully that'll help the bars operate, maybe stay in business kind of thing. So you don't have to order food, which is kind of the standard now. And then August 1st is the next big target, if you will, in that path to reopening. And hopefully, if things go well, the rest of the things that haven't opened will be allowed to open. I don't know if you have any questions or. So those other deadlines, the 10th, the 29th, the 1st, it was good that the governor announced that. I mean, for a couple of reasons. The citizens can kind of see that maybe we're on a path to might be normal, whatever that means. Hopefully that encourages people who maybe have been somewhat hesitant to get vaccinated to go get vaccinated, because part of these milestones being met is the public health data and the vaccination data being met. So whether this is, and I think it's important as people see the numbers in the state drop, that policymakers and state officials adjust the restrictions accordingly. And is this accordingly? I don't know. We'll see. One of the nice things is the weather's better, more people outdoors. The cases and the rates are dropping. I think if you keep the restrictions in place, even though the numbers are going well, I think that sends a message to people saying it doesn't really matter what we do. I think if you're trying to encourage people to act and do things that you'd like them to do to be protective, maybe showing that when the data changes and when we move in the right direction, we're able to reduce restrictions. So I think it's a nice balance to try to get people to think about what we can do to get back to normal.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay, I guess we can entertain a motion to adjourn. Does anybody?
Mr. Chairman, I can move, I'll move that we adjourn.
Okay, I will second that motion. Motion second that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye. George Deeman, I say aye.
Harry Jewell, aye.
Evan Waters, aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
And I will shut off the recording.